Jeep JK. Temperature sensor is going like this. Obviously, your coolant can't change temperatures this fast. Made the heater stop working. So you know what? I'm gonna show you how to fix it. It's real easy. Let's do it. Real quick, let me show you what it's doing. Here's the symptoms, check it out. Parts that I got for this, the gates, thermostat, housing, make sure you get a gasket with yours. Looks a little something like that. 34774. Coolant temperature sensor. Now there's a couple of these for different models. Check your year. Got mine from Rock Auto. It'll tell you if it's located by the oil filter or if it's located on the back of the engine block. Mine is on the back of the engine block. It is a standard product, TX259, and it will look something a little like that. Lastly, the coolant fluid. A lot of guys like this. It's the GO5 concentrated. I'm going to add that all into the radiator, and then I'll adjust whatever I need with distilled water. Make sure you always use distilled. Come on, man. It's like 60 cents. The locations I'll be going at these at. You're gonna drain your fluid at the bottom of the radiator down here. Right under there, I'll show you, and I got some tips for that. You're gonna come back up into here to get your thermostat, which is underneath your intake. Right down, right there under the intake. And then notice there's also a purge. I'll show you later. You need to purge or burp your system. And then lastly, it can be a little tricky, but don't worry, it's not too bad. There is your coolant temperature sensor in the back. See, here's the top going down, and you'll see the little red clip back there. You can't really get to it, so you got to go in through the side. Right here behind the front driver's side wheel. Do have fender liners, which makes it so easy because that just zips out just like whop, and you're right there. And from here you can see there she is. See how easy that is? There's just 2 bolts there. 2 bolts there. I take that off and I can access whatever I need. Come down to the bottom. Right here at the end of the radiator, you'll see a little petcock. You don't have to loosen that all the way. You can loosen it some and it'll pour out that petcock. Now to make that easier, I took a 5/16 hose, cut about 16 inches off of it. I'm just gonna push that hose right up on that petcock and put it right down into my drain pan. But easy as that. Twist it, don't let it come off all the way. If you put a 3/4 socket on that petcock, it'll loosen it up, it'll drain out. It takes a little longer to drain it out with that thing, but if that petcock comes out, it's real hard to get back in. Sometimes you got to take your whole bumper off. I've heard stories of that. Basically, you got to put a lot of forward motion and get it to go back in while turning it right gently. Don't strip it out, and it'll go back in there for you if you accidentally back it all the way out, but take the time not to. I've got a short ram intake on this. I've got that video posted on my channel as well. If you're interested in that, just search for that. I went ahead and loosened that up a little bit. There's a sensor on the bottom. I'm just going to move this out of the way real quick to get a little bit more access. 10mm bolt on the top and the bottom. That hose clamp right there, I think that'll make quick work of it. Reach down there and pull that off of there, and I've got the reservoir on the bottom to catch anything that might fall out of that pipe. I was always taught to oil my gaskets, so that's what I'm going to do. I just take it out, dip my finger in a little oil, kind of preserves it, makes it seal better. And don't leave it sloppy like that, kind of wipe it off. It's that extra little touch. When you pull off that old one, its gasket sticks to the motor. So go ahead and get that off there. And if you have a problem, that was probably it. Nice and crispy clean. Real quick, before we put this in, this little deal here, this is the purge, or some people call it the burp, that purges out your system when you put your new fluid in. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that, make sure that O-ring comes off with it. I'll set that aside with the rest of my nuts and bolts and stuff. When I'm filling it back with fluid, I'm going to watch for the fluid to come out of this hole. Once that's coming out there, I know it's full. Snug that up, but not too tight. tighten it too much, your gasket's gonna leak. If you can't get that radiator hose on, it can be a little bit of a bear. It sounds nasty, but if you like spit on the end of it and rub it around, it slides right on there. Don't put the intake back yet. Leave it off so you can do that purge real easy. Time for the coolant temperature sensor. All right. That's a 3/4 socket. You rip that out, put the new one in. Bleeding your system. Open up the bleeder. Open up the radiator. Open up the overfill. Fill your radiator until you see it coming out of your bleeder. Close your bleeder. Start your car. Let it run up, build pressure. Run your heater full blast at the same time. Then go and crack your bleeder just a little bit and it'll hiss and spit a whole bunch of air, taking all that air out of that system, and your heat's gonna start working wonderfully, just like this one is again. Close the bleeder back. If you need to top off more or whatever, you shouldn't, you're good to go. I filled up the radiator and I cracked that valve, started it, turned the heat on high, cracked that little bleeder, and it's just hissing air. You want all that air out of there. I've blown through the heater's perfect, everything works well and fine, and as you can see, the needle's deadlocked right where it should be, hasn't moved the whole time. And it's at idle. It's warmed up, good to go. That little tire indicator flashing, because somebody's gonna comment on it, is because of the 35s. Hey guys, that's all I have for today. If you liked the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like the video, check out the people on the bottom of my channel called Bad Mofos. Hours and hours of fun. Remember to subscribe, there'll be more videos, and there's about 100 and something more on my channel. Hopefully this helped at least one person out there. It's gonna be 30 something degrees here tomorrow, and now we'll have heat. Thanks again for watching. Take care. Later. Peace.